Hi, this is Hodrobino from DevilsDigest.com reporting from Resource Stadium in Corvallis, Oregon, where Arizona State drops its fourth game in a row, losing to Oregon State 35-34. Arizona State now 5-5 on the year, 2-5 in Pac-12 play. And granted, there's no easier loss to digest compared to the other, but this one is really going to hurt for a while because it really was Groundhog Day in terms of the repeated miscues for Arizona State. Eno Benjamin fumbling for the third time in a row, this time right here at the end zone near us. At the time, that would have tied the contest. Arizona State goes for a two-point conversion, misses on it, thus the 1 point difference between both teams. And when I say also Groundhog Day, we're also talking about the Arizona State defense really giving up a ton of yards, a ton of points, 28 points to be exact in the first half. Very reminiscent of the USC game last week, pretty close to what we saw at UCLA 2 weeks before that. And it's just a matter of the Sun Devils, once again, this time on the road, where it's always harder to play anyway, digging themselves from a huge hole. The offense really was able to play somewhat well throughout the game. I thought, at least compared to the USC game last week, they were able to put together a much better first half. Jaden Daniels was back starting at quarterback, and even though he said he didn't run the ball that much and it had nothing to do with his ankle injury, you wonder if in the back of his mind that was an issue. But truth be told, that Oregon State did a great job crowding the line of scrimmage with 7-8 defenders. As a result, Eno Benjamin only had 70 yards in the game. Arizona State was never able to establish a run. Discrepancy in time possession was huge, even though the Arizona State defense was pitching a bunch of 3-and-outs in the second half, limiting the Beavers only to a touchdown. Nonetheless, Arizona State was not really able to really get any rhythm on offense throughout the game. I think it was crucial in the beginning of the second half. Arizona State did defer the coin toss so they could get the first possession in the second half, and they actually had 3-and-out in that possession, 3-and-out in the next possession. And again, when you're digging yourself from such a huge hole in the first half, those are the little things that absolutely come back to bite you. I think Arizona State did a great job shutting down the Oregon State running game. This is an offense that gains around 190 yards on the ground tonight, only able to gain under 105 yards. Jake Luden, their quarterback, had 288 yards, 4 touchdowns. Pretty good numbers for him, but again, his first half and second half performance were in stark contrast. And really, when it comes to the Arizona State defense, you just really scratch your head. How come they can't really borrow, if you will, some of that second half performance and apply it to the first half? That's definitely disappointing, seeing that disturbing trend game after game after game. And Arizona State, and Herm Edwards will be the first one to admit it, is not good enough a team to really put itself in a hole, especially on the road, and try to dig itself successfully out of that hole. Once again, Arizona State comes very close to engineering a comeback. I know there's going to be a lot of discussion on that two-point play, and there's one of those plays where if you make it, you look like a genius. If you don't, you make it look like something I probably can't say on tape right now. But I feel that the notion that Arizona State felt that they did not want to go into overtime, they did not feel they could win this game, in extra periods, really spoke volumes to that two-point conversion play. I think you can question the play call because Arizona State, as we mentioned, had issues running the ball all night long, and I thought at minimum maybe that two-point play should have been a pass rather than a run. Eno Benjamin getting the ball. In normal circumstances, that would be the right call to do if you are calling a running game, but Eno Benjamin struggled tonight, as mentioned, had the fumble in the end zone, wasn't able to gain that many yards, and I think Oregon State knew exactly what was coming in that two-point play, and even though Arizona State was almost able to convert it with a Hail Mary pass, if you will, by Eno Benjamin, they still came up short and really have come up short, not only tonight, but in the last 3 games preceding that. We talk about soul searching, it seems like every week, and whatever Arizona State is searching to get off the snot, get back to the winning ways, it's simply not happening for this team. As we say every week, you just wonder about the mental state of this program. How much is it really chipping on them? How much is it gnawing on them to know that they cannot win a game right now, no matter how hard they try? And it's not going to get any easier next week as they host Oregon at home. Oregon right now is playing Arizona as we speak in Eugene, down the road some 50 or so miles. And if Oregon wins that game, you know they're smelling blood, wanting to get into that college football playoff, and Arizona State is one of 3 teams that are standing in their way from here until the end of the year. So definitely a tougher test compared to what we saw tonight, but nonetheless, that is what Arizona State has to deal with Saturday in Tempe. Reporting for DevilsDigest.com, this is Jorge Rubino from Resource Stadium in Corvallis. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.